The return of the outdoor track and field season is always super exciting, as many of the world's best finally make their debuts, moving into the big moments of the outdoor season. We have seen many amazing performances go down recently in the state of Florida and also in various parts of South Africa. But in tandem with this early season excitement with track is also the amazing unfolding of various marathons. Now, we recently saw the Boston Marathon, which saw Sisay Lema from Ethiopia win on the men's side and Helen Obiri defend her title on the women's side. And even though this was an amazing marathon with super deep fields, we officially have one of the deepest marathons in history coming up, because this year's London Marathon is so unbelievably stacked, it's honestly difficult to believe. Now, on the men's side, we have a very, very deep field of 12 athletes that have run under 2 hours and 6 minutes. This is already pretty insane, but we also have 6 runners that have run under 2 hours and 4 minutes. Now, leading the way with personal records in this race is Kenenisa Bekele at 2 hours, 1 minute, and 41 seconds, followed by Mozenet Garamo in 2:02:55, Alexander Matiso in 2:03:11, and in 4th place, last year's New York City Marathon winner is Tamirat Tola with a time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 39 seconds. Given what he did in last year's New York City Marathon, I personally think that Tola might be the favorite for this race. But as marathons go, the unpredictable nature of the event makes it impossible to choose, so we will also have to give a fair shot for everyone else in this field. Now, before we go any further, we have to mention the recent passing of Kelvin Kiptum, last year's London Marathon winner and the current course record holder in this event. Now, it was recently announced that before the race, there will be a 30-second pause to give honor to Kelvin Kiptum's passing. And it really is crazy to think about because every now and then, I'm looking for Kelvin Kiptum in the actual race lineups because I literally forgot that this young man passed away. It literally still feels so surreal, and I'm sure many of you feel the same, that such a young and talented athlete has now left us with so much unfulfilled promise. And even though this year's London Marathon is certainly looking very exciting, there is just a sad feeling knowing that Kelvin Kiptum isn't here. Now, the men's race is very deep and very exciting, and make sure to leave your thoughts down below on who you think will win. But the women's race is actually hosting something that has never happened in women's running, because 3 of the top 4 fastest female marathoners in history are set to be in this race, with Tigist Assefa from Ethiopia, the current world record holder, leading the way. Now, in last year's Berlin Marathon, Assefa did something that I don't think many people thought would happen for another 20 or 30 years, because not only did she take down the previous record of Bridget Kosgei, who was also in this race, with a PR of 2:14:04, but she broke 2:14, she also broke 2:13, and she ran under 2:12. Having a world record at 2:11 right now on the women's side almost seems impossible. It was just such a magnificent world record, such a perfect day for running, and I do think it speaks volumes about Assefa's abilities right now, so she might actually have to be the favorite in this race. But competing against Kosgei and Ruth Chepngetich from Kenya, the current number 3 and number 4 fastest marathoners of all time on the women's side, will make this an unbelievably exciting race to witness. And if the weather is good and there's a good pace up front, I do think that there is a real possibility we could see many runners go under 2:16, potentially 2:15, as crazy as that does sound. Now, on the women's side, we currently have 10 athletes that have run under 2 hours and 20 minutes, which again is one of the deepest fields ever assembled, which seems to be a very common occurrence these days in the marathon. But seeing so much talent up front, with such a real possibility to see a course record, probably not a world record unless something crazy happens once again, is another very exciting moment to look forward to in this year's London Marathon. I think that if the women go out in around 2 hours and 7 minutes, or maybe slightly closer to 2:06, I think that we could see a world record if everything goes perfect, and also if we see a perfect pace setter like we saw last year in the Berlin Marathon with Tigist Assefa, as she had one pacer literally running with her all the way to the finish line, where she finally broke the world record. This year's London Marathon is looking insane. I'm very excited to see Kenenisa Bekele back on track, and maybe he can break another Masters world record, as we saw him break the Masters record in last year's Valencia Marathon, running just outside of 2 hours and 4 minutes at 41 years of age. This man is just an absolute legend. And now I want to hear from all of you. What do you think is going to happen in this year's London Marathon? And do you think that a course record or potentially a world record will go down? Leave your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching, everyone. And as always, until next time.